How you doing, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good day. I'm here to talk about another Tiny Dungeons product. And if you haven't seen this or picked it up yet, it's a great system. It's a minimalistic system. It offers a lot of freedom, not only for DMs or GMs, but also for players to really create characters that they want to create and really do the things they want to do. Within a role playing game setting, they have tons of different settings, everything from your typical D&D type campaign all the way up to kaiju versus mecha. They got lots of stuff, lots of source books, superheroes, everything. And they've been coming out with these source books that are really, really good. You have one like this. This is Thunderscape, which I think was based on an old video game, but they have this out for Pathfinder and I think maybe even Savage Worlds. It's a pretty decent one. I already talked about Sun and Shadow, probably one of my favorite source books for any type of fantasy setting campaign. And I mean, it's thin, but it's packed with a lot of stuff. It's also dirt cheap, very affordable. Get it on Drive Through RPG. Of course, we're talking about Tiny Dungeons here. I had that on there. So this is Tiny Dungeons. If you don't have it already, go get it. Spring for the hardcover, though. I think I'll get a second one. I'll send this one to a friend or something. But today I'm going to talk about a specific one. This is one I just got in. I started looking through, and it is called Destiny of Tides. Okay, Destiny of Tides is kind of gather. It's kind of like an underwater D&D type setting. And whereas D&D, you had the Triton, where he was kind of like an aquatic type person. This is all original races or species, as they call them in the books, heritages. Um, and they do such a good job of fleshing out the details of these different heritages in this book, uh, from culture to how they operate within each other to how they function, their biology. It's so damn cool. And one of the coolest things is like, all right, so you got some underwater people, kind of big deal, you think. And that's kind of what I thought when I bought it. I'm like, it's going to be an underwater thing. Maybe I'll use some of this. They do an excellent job of describing what it would be like to completely living under the ocean and then having to go adventures up on land, where you can only move back and forth. You can't move up and down. All of a sudden, that's limited. Your dryness level. You don't want to dry out. That's a danger. So they have all these different dangers that they have to contend with while they're going up adventuring on land. And kind of like the world they had set up is that some cataclysm happened and most of the world got buried under the ocean. So you have all these underwater cities to explore that were once built by men, but also all the real cool stuff is up on land. So you have to go adventuring on dry land. Um, it is a super super cool setting, and once again, this little book and this one. All right, see him, see him. These two are so much better than anything that I've purchased from Dungeons and Dragons, as far as source books are concerned. So much more original ideas, so much more um, detailed, and really sparks the imagination. And I don't know if it's really D&D fatigue that's setting in with me, but it's really refreshing to see this stuff. Now, this book is 165 pages. It's black and white, but I sprung for the hardbound because I like the hardbound, and the pages are a little bit higher quality. Um, and in it you have how many new heritages? I think it's like three or four. Okay, so you have uh, I'm gonna butcher these names. Kakusis, which are kind of like first fish merman type people. They're cool looking. Look at that. The art in this book is really good too. I think they're using the same Tiny Dungeon artist, whoever he is. I can't remember his name, but kudos to him. He's really friggin' good. He doesn't do like these grand paintings, but his art, his style is on point. Lulu Tani, which are like these That's them right there. Oh, there we go, right there. They're like these otter people. Very cool, and the write-ups on their society is really cool. I love the friggin' write-up they did on their society and how they kind of live above the water, but they're like otters. They live in and out of water, but they bound these like barges together to make their societies. Um, the Kade, Kayde, they're kind of like octopus people. Um, and each of these, they describe what challenges they might have on land and what advantages they would have underwater. The Duwani, which are like these jellyfish people, it's really cool. Um, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the list of the new ones. I'm sure I'm missing some. Um, but it has all new creatures. It has adventure ideas in here. Lots of really friggin' cool stuff in this book. So I highly recommend it. Once again, I'm blown away by this system, and it's driving me nuts that so many. Oh, it's a system for kids. No, it's not a system for kids. It's a system for adults. It's easy enough that kids can grasp it, but it's also freeing enough for anybody who's been running D&D and coming up with frustrations that, oh, I can only do this when I get to this level, or if I want to be a person who would be effective in the campaign that just wanted to, use a whip or something like that. There's lots of things that you can do with this rule set that you can really custom tailor a character or an adventure path for game masters or dungeon masters of how you want to do it. And there's so many good supplements. And once again, they're better than the big produced supplements by Pazio and Wizards and everything else. And not knocking them because they do have good adventures and stuff like that and great artists. But I am just absolutely blown away. So highly recommend it. Destiny of Tides. It's written by Robert Denton III and friends. So he's got his friends in there. I like that. Really good stuff. I hope everybody's doing well. Do you have this? What do you think of Tiny Dungeons? Comment down below. If you haven't picked it up, pick it up. It's dirt cheap. Well worth the purchase. And I'm already working on a big campaign around not only these books, but stuff of my coming out of my own brain. All right, thanks, people.